Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to Ella Pastoral. If this is your first time coming upon this channel, I typically make videos about TV shows, books, as well as movies and how they relate to the social issues going on. But in this video, I want to celebrate Valentine's Day. And in order to celebrate Valentine's Day, I really want to talk about love. But I don't want to just talk about that lovey-dovey high school love that we typically think about when we talk about love. I want to talk about toxic love and toxic relationships. But specifically, I want to talk about how people idolize and also like toxic ships. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching. I'm just going to leave a content warning right here because when I was doing my research for this video, I saw a lot of stuff. So I'm just giving you guys like a content warning as well as a trigger warning before we really dive deep. The reason why this video even came into fruition is that I was on TikTok and I saw a bunch of discourse relating to this couple right here and this couple right here. But I really wasn't understanding what was going on. So I asked my friend Dami, hi Dami, she's my friend. I asked her why does she feel like people like toxic relationships and problematic ships. She and I had a lot of similar ideas in terms of why people like toxic ships. And one of the main reasons that we feel like people love toxic ships and problematic ships is that those problematic ships are already drama filled. When it comes to healthy, non-problematic ships, the authors and writers have to specifically go out of their way to find there to be some type of conflict. Oh, this couple is healthy, their house is going to be taken away. Oh, this couple is healthy, one has to be shipped away. But for problematic couples, the drama is that they literally should not be together. So I'm just going to be reading off my phone here, so that's why I'm looking at my phone. But one of the reasons that she says that people really love problematic / toxic ships is that the audience gets to walk with these characters regardless of the fact that they end up together. For problematic couples, you know they be having the most drawn out character arcs and literally you always want to see what's going to happen with them next. I feel like that's also people's infatuation with the idea of Krishan and Blueface. Like literally, we could literally as a society decide that we're going to ignore those two, but we want to know what's going to happen next. Like literally right now in the saga of Krishan and Blueface, Krishan says she's pregnant, she's hoping that she has twins. So we really love to keep up with toxic couples because we know that they're going to entertain us. Another reason why she said that people love toxic / problematic relationships is that people are desensitized to these relationships and mistake the cruelty and toxicity for passion. I really have to agree with that mindset because a lot of people be fetishizing and idealizing abuse in relationships. There's also this famous tweet that goes around every couple of months where it's like, when he's toxic but the D is good, when she's toxic but she give it to you right. Or there was this one rap lyric from I think the Shibuya Girls, Glorilla's friend, where it's like, this kitty got him busting out my windows. Call 911. Call 911. I don't care because that's crazy. It's crazy. Like, that's absolutely crazy. I really feel like people romanticize the mess out of toxic relationships like that because, for example, right, when the show You came out, if you guys don't know, You is a show about this serial killer and how he be killing the women he's with. People are like, I need me a man like that. I need me a man like that. Man, if you had a man like that, you'd be dead within under a month. You do not need a man like that. So I really feel like she's right in saying that people are desensitized, or even worse, they mistake the toxicity for passion, because there's no way that you want a man like Joe, because a man like Joe is going to kill your best friend. He's going to kill your best friend and then kill you. Yeah. Another point that my friend made is that people really like redemption arcs. Watching the good person in the relationship change the bad person and bring out another side to them that the audience hasn't seen. And she also listed examples such as Fresco, and I think her name was Lizzie. I'm gonna just put a picture on the screen from Euphoria, and that also speaks to this really toxic thing that we even do in the real world. And I really have to agree with my friend 100% here, because there is a toxic trope that I've noticed a lot outside of shows and movies where literally women will say that, oh, I know he's toxic, I know he's abusive, but I can change him. Man, the only person who can change someone is Jesus. And for those non-religious people, yourself. Don't ever go into don't ever, this is what I'm going to say right here. Don't ever go into a relationship with the idea that you're going to change a person, because the only person who can really change someone is themselves. You have to do the work yourself. So waiting on someone to magically change you into a good person is something that you shouldn't do. You have to do the work yourself in order to be a good person. Like, the whole idea that you have to wait for someone to come and convince you to be a good person is crazy. And you even going into a relationship talking about some I see potential, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. And I really feel like that is portrayed in a bunch of the toxic relationships that I'm going to talk about later in this video. Another reason why I also think that people love to see toxic / problematic ships is the whole idea of the final girl phenomenon. And that is when a person is trapped in their toxic, abusive relationship and we watch them grow mentally, fight back, and escape. Like, when I see that trope specifically in horror movies, I eat it up every time. I feel like those type of situations give me a feeling of catharsis. When they be getting their revenge on the person that did them wrong, it'd be so satisfying, because you know that everything that the victim is doing to their abuser is justified. I'd be rooting for them to do the most crazy things to their abusers, when in any other situation I'd be like, okay, you're doing too much. So now that I've really talked about why I feel like people like toxic / problematic ships, I really want to discuss the most popular problematic / toxic ships and explain why I personally feel like people like them. So I have a list that I'm going to be reading from, and this is going to go from, I guess, like baby problematic to like hardcore problematic. In this video, I am not including people who are pro shippers. Anybody who likes the idea of shipping minors with adults and other weird stuff like that, I feel like there's no justification for it, even though it's fiction, because I just feel like it's icky and I don't want to see it with my eyes, so I'm definitely not going to force you guys to see it with your eyes. But I'm just going to start off this video by talking about the very baby problematic ships. The first two ships that I want to talk about are from the Monster High franchise, and the first ship that I have for you guys is Valentine and Draculaura. And so the reason why I feel like people really like this ship, even though the preferable ship is definitely Draculaura and Claude, or even Claudine and Draculaura, is because of that whole passion toxicity thing that I was talking about in the previous segment. For these two should never be together. Like, they have a very one-sided relationship where I feel like Draculaura likes Valentine more than Valentine likes her. We can see this throughout the entire like movie where they're featured, and literally I feel like people really find them cute or whatever, because I mean, if you didn't know the backstory between them, you'd be like, oh, they're so pretty together. And literally Valentine made a holiday for Draculaura for her birthday, but where the toxicity comes into it is that man is so self-centered that he named a holiday that was for his girlfriend after himself. So imagine that your entire imagine every time you celebrate your birthday, you always got to think about your ex. And that's why I feel like those two are not cute together, because who does that? Who does that? And so for the next couple that is from Monster High, this is the OG toxic couple. Like, if you grew up watching Monster High, you already know from the jump that these two are toxic. They will break up every other episode, like every other movie. Like, they could never stick together, and they'll always give the vibes that Deuce was way too nonchalant to be with a person like Cleo. Cleo would be a little bit like clingy a little bit, and she needed reassurance, and Deuce wouldn't give that to her. And so they would break up every other whatever, like every other TV show, every other episode, and it was getting tired. It was getting tired and played out. But people, I really feel like people really like them because they're the it couple. Like, when you see Cleo and when you see Deuce, you're like, that's the couple. But I really feel like they were toxic because they just shouldn't have been together. Like, how many times are y'all gonna break up? Like, it's too many times to count. And for the next couple that I feel like gives me the same vibes as Cleo, Niall, and Deuce is Jade and Beck from Victorious. Like, if you guys watch Victorians, it's a singing show about these teenagers and their lives. And the issue that I have with this couple, even though they look really good together, is the fact that they aren't compatible people. So like I said with Cleo, I really feel like Jade in this situation, in most situations, she's a little clingy and she needs constant reassurance, because I feel like Jade has daddy issues and she doesn't have a good, strong relationship with her dad. So she needs constant assurance from her partner. But Beck sucks. Beck sucks. Beck is a terrible boyfriend. Beck literally is a floozy. I don't even know if that's a proper word, but he is a philanderer. He is a philanderer. That's the word. That's the pronunciation. Because literally, he knows that Jade is crazy. We know that Jade is crazy. So why would you trigger this girl by doing weird-ish with other girls? Like, I remember there was this episode where Jade is like, why do you keep driving these girls to school? And he's like, what's the issue with driving these random girls to school? Sir? Those girls better get a taxi or an Uber to go to school. Why? Like, think about it. Why would your man be driving random girls to school? He not the bus driver? Like, I remember I was always on Jade's side because he would always be doing some slick-ish to be making her mad. And he knew that he was the hot guy of the school and that all the girls wanted him. And he would be doing a little bit of flirting. He would be doing a little bit of flirting, giving these girls a little slither, a little idea that they could end up with him. And so obviously Jade was upset. I'd be upset too. And the whole entire plot line between Jade, Tori, and Beck really proved to me that Jade was always right about him doing some philandering nonsense. Because literally, guys, if you watch Victorious, you know what I'm talking about. Jade and Tori had beef because Jade felt like Tori wanted her man, only to find out that she was right. Man, that couple should have never been together. And I really feel like a more superior ship would have been Jade and Andre. Andre should have ended up with Jade. I really felt like Andre would have honored his relationship with Jade and gave Jade the attention that she needed to thrive in her relationship. But no, sadly, she got stuck with my man's Beck. Like, if those two didn't look so good together for optics, I don't think nobody would like them as a couple. The next couple that I have for you guys is more problematic than toxic. And this is Nate and Maddie from Euphoria. If you guys haven't watched Euphoria, it's a show that's supposed to be about the realistic lives of teens, but I really feel like it goes crazy. The reason why I feel like Maddie and Nate is problematic is that they're only together for optics. Like, I know personally for me, I've been saying a lot of these couples are there for optics, but this couple specifically is only together for optics. Maddie only really wanted to be with Nate because he is at the apex of the social male hierarchy at, I guess, Euphoria High. And Maddie is also on top of that hierarchy for the girls. And so she was like, he's the it boy, I'm the it girl, why don't we be together? And this couple is so toxic. And I really feel like my point that I made about people idolizing toxicity in terms of passion is what I'm talking about here. So Maddie and Nate are always doing that on and off breakup thing. And there was a situation where Maddie wanted to get back at Nate and make him jealous by doing something with this dude in front of the whole school. And tell me why, instead of saying this girl is toxic and not being with her, this man finds the dude that was kissing up on Maddie and beats him up. Like, it isn't a simple beat up. This man does some psychopathic, high-level scheming. I think he hits him with a bat and kidnaps him and steals his identity. And also, this man hits Maddie. Like, there was this whole entire plot line where Maddie had to, go to the police station because everybody saw that she was an abuse victim. And the whole entire time, she's like, no, he doesn't hit me. No, he doesn't hit me. But literally everybody with eyes was like, sis, we need to get you some psychological help because he's hurting you. And then there was this long, convoluted plot where the dude that was kissing up on Maddie, I guess in like season 2 or season 1, who knows at this point, literally got framed for abusing Maddie like it wasn't Nate. Man, this couple is toxic. And people really ship them together because I feel like they just look good together. But this couple is toxic and problematic. Like the other like, the kids show ones, they're just toxic. This one is just hardcore problematic. The next couple that I have for you guys is actually hardcore problematic. And to this day, I still see ship little cute romantic edits about them. And this is the couple of Joe and Love from the show You. This couple is bad because it has a lot of terrible aspects to it. So these two are both serial killers, right? They've all killed, their previous partners. Ding, 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 red flag. That should already be enough to show you that this couple is problematic. But not only are they serial killers, they're serial killers who are in love with each other. So you can already see why that's a problem. This couple literally goes behind each other's backs to cheat on each other and then get mad when the other gets caught cheating. And they also don't have any trust in each other, which leads them to be doing all that murdering nonsense. And so yeah, I can see why people ship them, because they're like, I would say that they're it girls. They look good together, but they just don't have a stable relationship to even be in a relationship. And spoiler alert, Joe ends up killing Love. So you can already see like that couple should have never been together, because gosh, they should have been with someone who, I don't even know. I feel like the reason why people ship them together is because of that whole like mindset was like, you need someone as crazy as you. But Joe, when he got someone as crazy as him, he couldn't handle it. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen in season 4. Supposedly this is the last season. So we'll see how this show ends, and I'll let y'all know. But that couple should have never been together. The next problematic couple that I have for you guys is also one of my problematic ships. And this is the relationship between Lestat and Louis, specifically from the show called Interview with a Vampire, and not Lestat and Louis from the movie. Like I'm working on a video about Interview with a Vampire, but this couple is literally consistently in my mind. They're so toxic for each other. They're so toxic for each other, but their dynamic is just something that I can't not think about. Like, I love them together. I know. It's bad. But I just, the actor that they got to play Lestat and the actor that they got to play Louis have so much chemistry between each other. Like, I know that Lestat does not treat Louis well. We can all see it if you watch the show. But when Lestat is not actively being trashed to Louis, they're romantic AF. In my section explaining why I feel like people ship problematic couples, I talked about how I also love the trope of victims escaping their abusers. This plays into here, but I really feel like this couple is just so realistic. I mean, they're vampires or whatever, so they're not realistic in terms of that. But the fact that even though Louis is able to escape Lestat, oh, spoiler alert, oops, spoiler alert, he still misses him and still romanticizes their time together. And I just feel like it's so many levels with it. Like, the thing about problematic couples is as long as you're able to realize that they're problematic and you don't idolize them, then it's okay. And that's what I feel like I do with this couple. The next problematic ship that I have for you guys is a ship that I personally ship. And this is a ship that comes from Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2. And this is gonna sound crazy, guys, because the couple isn't even a couple in the actual canon of the movie. But me and a lot of other delusional people ship them together. And this couple is Namor and Shuri from Black Panther 2. And I know you're probably looking at me real sideways right now. You guys are probably in the comments like, Ella. What? But let me explain, okay? So the chemistry, like I was saying with Lestat and Louis, the chemistry between Namor and Shuri is palpable. Like the tension, like the scene where that man gives Shuri his mother's necklace, and the after credit scene where he's literally painting a picture of them, had me feeling some type of way. It also doesn't help that freaking Namor and Shuri are both hot. So when you put them together, the hotness is crazy. And personally, I like to think that they would have ended up together in an alternate universe where that man had some chill and didn't do what he did to Wakanda. So personally, for me, I'm using my imagination as justification as to why I'm shipping this couple. Like, I get it. I get why a lot of people don't ship them. But for me, I think they would be cute together. Like, if that man would have just came to Wakanda on some more diplomatic note, we would have had a romance to remember. But that man, he ruined it for me. So that's why I favor into shipping Okoye and Atuma more, because they got some enemies to lovers thing going on. Like, if you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And that man has a lot of respect for Okoye. Like, that Okoye and Atuma is a slept on ship, and that one is not problematic at all. That one is just good vibes. So the next two ships that I have for you guys are going to be crazy problematic, and they're from the Game of Thrones cinematic universe. I'll be including a timestamp for you guys to skip to, because the next section is going to be talking about a bunch of serious topics, because it's Game of Thrones. So the two ships that I want to talk about specifically in this video are Daenerys and Khal Drogo, as well as Rhaenyra and Daemon. And the reason why I wanted to talk about these two ships is that people are not really analyzing and talking about how problematic they are. We all know that Game of Thrones has a bunch of despicable relationships in them, but people idolize these two relationships a little too much for me, and people do not talk about how diabolical these two ships are. There needs to be a more nuanced conversation in relation to Daenerys and Khal Drogo, because that man not only bought her from her brother, but he also SA'd her in the first time that they were intimate. And people be romanticizing this couple a little too much. On Halloween, I saw you and your partners dressing up as these two, and I gave y'all the side eye. I gave y'all the side eye, because there's no way. And people really idolize Khal Drogo too much. Like, even the actor who plays Khal Drogo was literally like, his favorite part about playing this character was SAing women. And I gave that man 3 side eyes. I don't even have 3 eyes, but I gave him 3 side eyes. So I really feel like people do not understand that this couple is just an abusive relationship. I get it. Danny eventually earned his respect and was on his level, but I don't even know what to say. But that man literally abused her. Like, oh, he's your abuser, honey. Oh. Like, he does like some chivalrous stuff. There was this scene where Danny's brother was literally like trying to kill her and was disrespecting her and calling her out on her name. And that man literally got a pot of gold and poured it on his head. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, like, he's him. Like, he protected his wife. Aww. But I could never forgive him for doing all that stuff to Danny. Now I want to specifically talk about Rhaenyra and Daemon. Nobody has no nuance when it comes to this relationship. If we're going to be so 100% serious right now, Daemon literally groomed Rhaenyra. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fact that that man is literally her uncle. Like, the Targaryens are literally known for doing some family loving or whatever. But even Rhaenyra's dad was like, yo, you need to chill on my daughter. You need to chill on my daughter right now. You need to chill on my daughter. And literally, people be idolizing this ship a little too much. People be idolizing this relationship too much when the superior ship is most definitely Sir Harwin Breakbones and Rhaenyra. And not only is that man a groomer, her uncle, he also hit her. Y'all remember that? Because I really wish that there was more nuance to this relationship. Because to see people and their actual partners dressed up as Rhaenyra and Daemon, my mouth be open, because not only did he groom her, he's her uncle, and he hit her. He literally hit her, guys. Like, he literally hit her. Like, it was so terrible. And I really wish you guys had more nuance. But that's the House of the Dragon and the Game of Thrones fandom for you guys. Like, it'd be scary, guys. It'd be scary to be a part of those fandoms. Like, it's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. So in conclusion, I learned a lot by doing my research for this topic. I learned a plethora of different reasons as to why people ship these problematic couples. But I guess my main point that I got from, doing this video and doing some research for it is that do not idolize these couples. And also, if your own relationship is starting to look like any of these couples from this list, there should be some time for self-reflection. Obviously, a bunch of these couples are fictional, but if you feel like you are in a relationship like this, you should definitely get out. None of these relationships are healthy. So if you're noticing that you and your partner are starting to be a little bit like anybody from this list, there are a bunch of resources that you can use in order to get out of that situation. Yeah, sorry. This video got a little serious. I didn't expect it to get as serious as it did. But I enjoyed making it. So let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. What are some problematic ships that you guys personally ship? If you like this video, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe to me. I notice a good 70% of you guys are not subscribed to me. If you enjoy my content, please support your girl. And I'll definitely see you guys in the next one. Bye.